Hi, today we're going to talk about 9 little-known emotional buying triggers that compel your prospects to say yes. I'm Craig Garber, and in case you don't know me, I'm the author of How to Make Maximum Money with Minimum Customers. And if you want some more information on that, you can check out kingofcopy.com/max or kingofcopy.com/Amazon. Okay, let's talk about the first trigger, stimulate interest. And how do you stimulate interest in your buyers? Well, first of all, what you're talking about has to be a relevant topic. It has to be something that they care about, that they're concerned about, okay? And much of your success at this is going to be determined by the source of your leads, meaning the closer your leads are to your topic and the more congruent your lead generation message is to your offer, the more you're going to stimulate your buyer's interest, okay? So you have to get your leads from a proper source, and whatever you're generating the lead from has to be congruent with what you're actually selling them. You have to use a lot of curiosity-provoking copy, sales copy, and when you do that, you can stimulate interest very effectively. And this makes them want to hear more. In other words, curiosity is one of those emotions that it inherently needs to get resolved. And when people want to resolve their curiosity, the only way to resolve it is by hearing more of what you have to say. And those are the components that make up the stimulating interest. Number 2, get them involved. And how do you do that? Very simple. Number 1, ask questions. And I have a whole course on this called Keeping It Real. If you want information on that, go to kingofcopy.com/real. Teach them new stuff. How does that get them involved? Because it engages their brain. When you're talking to people and they're learning from you, they're involved and they're engaged extremely, okay? Also, know their most pressing needs and understand their problems. And here's what I mean by that. If you are talking to them about the things that are most important to them, they're going to listen to you. You know, at any given point in time, we all have so much going on in our life. But if someone says to you, hey, I want to listen to something that you have to say about this topic, when you talk about that topic, understand why it's relevant to them and what their concerns are and how you can help them. And then you want to exacerbate their problems. In other words, identify the problems, exacerbate them, make them stronger and more intense, okay? And then empathize what they're going through. Whatever the situation is in their life that's disturbing them, empathize with them. Tell them that you understand what it's like and give them some examples of how you understand. And also, throughout your copy, you want to use a lot of trial closes. This gets them involved too, because in print, it's very hard to have a conversation with people. But when you use these trial closes, which are questions, but they're specific questions, things like make sense or see where I'm going with this, and see that allows them to shake their heads and it gets them involved, and it creates a dialogue between the two of you. 3, get them motivated. How do you do this? Well, first of all, avoid saying anything negative. You know, print is a very intimate media. And if someone is giving you their time one-on-one to listen to what you have to say, the last thing you want to do is turn them off by saying something negative and putting negative junk in their head. Just don't do that at all, ever. What else? Address any obstacles they have head on and provide practical reasons they'll accept to overcome these obstacles. In other words, people, when you're trying to sell them something, they're all going to have obstacles. And if they really want to buy, they actually want you to help them overcome these obstacles. But see, a lot of people don't do that. They're afraid to address the obstacles. Say, oh, I don't want to bring this up because it might turn them off. Listen, they're going to be looking for reasons not to buy already. They got enough reasons in their head to get turned off. But if it's a true, sincere buyer, what they're looking for is they want you to take them by the hand and help them get over the obstacles. Because remember, buying is an emotional topic, okay? And if you can help people get over the emotional obstacles, okay, that are in the way, they're thrilled to have you do that. What else? Always present what you're selling as an immediate solution and a long-term solution to their problems, meaning people are much more likely to buy things from you that have value, and value is something that's going to be worthwhile today and over the long haul. If you're selling somebody something and they think for whatever reason it's a quick hit or a one-shot deal, they're not going to be as apt to buy it as they feel they can get use out of it over and over again. And make sure you identify components in your sales copy as to how to make this so for them. In other words, how to show them that this is a long-term and a short-term solution. Be the bright ray of sunshine in their otherwise miserable life. And what I mean by that is, Thoreau once says, most men lead lives of quiet desperation and die with the song still in them. If you're the bright ray of sunshine, it's really motivational. And because I said otherwise miserable, most people are not being optimistic and happy. Most people are just, adding to the negative drain and all the BS that people are thinking about and carrying on their shoulders 24/7. But if you're the bright ray of sunshine, man, that fires people up. There's nothing like being that optimistic bright ray of sunshine for people. Make sure, this goes hand in hand with what we just talked about, make sure above all you're selling optimism. No one's going to buy from you unless they believe their life tomorrow is better with you in it or with what you're selling in it than out of it. So above all, make sure you're selling optimism. Number 4, be compelling. And let's take a look at how to do that. Tell your story. Why do you want to tell your story and how does it impact your ability to be compelling? Okay, well, here's the deal. One of your goals in selling is to overcome a very difficult obstacle. And that obstacle is people or your buyer's own disbelief in their ability to do something, in their ability to do whatever it is you're selling, whether it's a physical, a mental, or a spiritual type of thing. People have a lot of self-doubt and they have undeserving feelings. When you tell your story about how you were able to do this or how somebody was able to do something, it gives people a tangible sense of belief, something concrete that they can hang on to. So this is very important towards being compelling. Be specific in your claims and promises. When you're specific, you're much more compelling because your arguments are more valid. When you're general, there's a question mark as to why you're being general. Why don't you have specific answers? Maybe it's not true. And it shoots down any opportunity you have to be compelling. Be specific in your case studies. So for example, if you are sharing case studies of other success stories, okay, make sure you are equally specific in these case studies. Show how people went from here to there and specifically what the numbers were and how they got there, how long did it take, so on and so forth. Be credible. In other words, you want people thinking that you have the right to be talking about this information in the first place. And that's a whole very detailed, specific topic that we could probably go into in a separate course even. Same thing with this next one, which is be believable. And that means you want people to have not question the integrity of what you're saying, which is different from being credible, which is do you have the right to even be offering this in the first place, and if so, why? But all these are the components that go into being compelling. End or lead with an irresistible offer. This is the key to compelling someone to buy. The more irresistible your offer are, very simply, the easier it is for someone to justify buying. Number 5, make your buyer excited. How do you do this now? All right, be excited yourself, okay? This is a real simple force of nature. Energy and enthusiasm are contagious. And it's like you ever walk into a place of business where, everybody's really poorly behaved or everybody's really down. That comes from the top down, okay? Be excited, and that's contagious. Be enthusiastic and energetic, that's contagious. And frankly, in any negotiation, he who has the most energy wins. So if you're the person kicking out all the energy, pouring out all the emotion, guess what? You're going to lead and you're going to win. Provoke curiosity and always resolve that curiosity in your buyer's best interest. If you're going to make someone curious and disappoint them, let me just tell you, disappointment never leads to a sale, but optimism and enthusiasm always leads to a sale. Unique offers, this gets your buyer excited. And what are the components of unique offers? There's many, but scarcity is one, for example. One-time only, bonuses, rare occurrences. Try to give them some sort of experience. This is what people get excited about. They don't want to buy something, they want an experience. This is one of the reasons why the Apple products are so popular. They are experiential in every sense of the word. There isn't one component of the iPhone or the iPod that's non-experiential. It's click here takes you to there, decision making, yes, no, and it's all positive decisions for you. There's no bad decisions or no bad experiences on there. Get an app, you don't like it, delete it. Even that's a good experience. You're getting rid of something you don't like. So the more experiences you can give your client and prospect and buyer, the more sales you're going to make. Irresistible offers. Again, we talked about that. This is something that it's very compelling when you make an irresistible offer. It gets people super excited. Affordability gets people excited, believe it or not. Oftentimes people can't afford something. When you offer them a payment plan, it boosts up sales dramatically. Most of the clients I work with, if they aren't offering payment plans, when they do, sales grow up literally incrementally. I'm talking about 2 and 3 times the amount. So payment plans are fantastic. Number 6, make your buyer curious. Curiosity is a very powerful, very compelling trigger. How do you do that? Self-interest. Talk about stuff that they're interested in, okay? Things that are motivational to them, not things that are motivational to you. Remember, you're trying to make a sale for them. You're trying to get them to buy. They don't care about things that interest you. They care about things that interest them. And get them involved and interested by talking about things that can help them and benefit them. Little known secrets and mysteries. Okay, here's what I mean about that. Explain shortcuts. There are always shortcuts to doing things. And most people aren't aware of these shortcuts, or if they're aware of them, they don't know like what's behind the scenes. It's like a magic trick. You know how a magic trick, you see it, but you're curious about it. You want to know what goes on behind the scenes. If you could share these little known secrets and mysteries, you get people very curious and very enthusiastic. Identify their most problematic frustrations, meaning the best things to get them curious about are the things that bother them the most. Keep in mind, people are much more motivated to avoid pain than to accept the benefit. So if you're in a situation where you're a problem solver and you're continuously opening new doors to solve more and more problems, people become a lot more curious about this because they're really motivated to get rid of pain. And then resolve all their frustrations with simple or easy solutions that you provide, which are what you're selling to them, presumably, in your products or services. And understand, when I say simple or easy solution, easy doesn't mean lying, okay? I guess there's probably a magic copywriting book somewhere online that says, tell everybody that things are easy to do. And this gets carried out to the obscene where, I have a kit that'll show you how to climb Mount Fuji. It's easy once you know how. Man, that's not any easier than staying married for 25 years, okay? It's not easy. However, there is a systematic way of doing things, and the how the system works is actually easy once you know blah, 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 okay? Don't ever lie to people. Be open and honest with them. Just present things in a positive light. And when you're offering the types of services where you're breaking the complicated things down to the simple, you only have a ton of upside on to go there. I mean, easy means truthful and simple. It doesn't mean lying. It means you're making it easy by either doing it for them or revealing a new way of doing it, or simply by showing them how to do it. In other words, pulling back the curtain and showing it to them and speaking to them in plain, simple English and practical terms. Number 7, make them thirsty. Okay, this one's interesting. Your job isn't to make people buy. It's to make them thirsty. And let me explain this a little more. First of all, you have to understand it's impossible to make someone do anything. You can't make anybody do anything, but you can lure them and compel them into, or entice them, or seduce them, as I call it, seductive selling. Seduce people, you make them thirsty, and then they become curious and aroused and have more of an interest in doing something, and then they're more apt to buy. Okay. Also, controlling. When you're trying to make someone do something, it's extremely controlling and it's foolish and presumptuous. And as you get a little older, you realize these things. Okay. You realize you can't make anyone do anything. You realize even to try to do so is a foolish, presumptuous, and controlling behavior, which is negative. You make them curious, and then you make them thirsty. That's what you need to do. And the thing that you want to do is do what my mentor told me years ago. This is how you make people thirsty. You think about what you want to bring into the world, not what you want to get out of it. In other words, focus on giving. I was watching this television show the other night about chefs and cooking. I think it's called Chopped or Cutting Block or something like that. And many of the chefs said the same thing. Fill in the blank. My father, my mentor, my teacher told me that cooking is all about giving, and it's about bringing your gifts into the world through your food. And the best chefs are very successful at doing that. And I think the best providers of any service are the ones that are successful at doing that. You're thinking about giving. What do these guys want? How can I serve is the bottom line. Sounds old-fashioned and hokey, but guess what? It works. It's really effective. It's really genuine, and people can sense that's what you're doing. Number 8, radiate optimism. We talked about this a little bit earlier. Again, don't be negative. This is how you radiate optimism. One of the ways about being optimistic is, hello, just don't be negative. Guess what? The second you're negative, any optimism you have gets wasted, gets blown. It's like that old expression, Rome wasn't built in a day, but it burned in less than a day. It's the same thing with this stuff. The same way energy and enthusiasm are contagious, so is acrimony and self-doubt. So if you're bitter, nasty, or if you have a lot of self-doubt and undeserving things coming through there, or jealousy about other people, it's going to come through, and that's going to shoot any kind of chance of optimism you have right in the foot. Years ago, 1989, when I first got into sales, I once heard an expression that said, fake it until you make it. And what they were talking about is your confidence level. Because when you first get into sales, you're going out there and you're selling things, and your first thing that you think is, well, what if they know? You feel like a fraud. What if my prospect or client knows that I'm new at this? Well, in the beginning, you got to fake it until you make it. And that's to some extent if you are, don't believe in yourself, as long as you're sincere and genuine and you are selling a quality service or product, fake it until you make it. And it only takes the first dollar, and then that confidence level goes up dramatically. And it's not long after that where it keeps going up, where maybe 6 months after you started making that money, you're a completely different person, literally a different human being. Lots of before and after case studies. This gives your prospects optimism. If they see people before and after, testimonials, pictures, be as thorough as you possibly can and as specific as you possibly can in your case studies. This gets people very optimistic. That's why it's good to show, like when I have testimonials, I never send my products out to well-known guys. My thoughts are, I want the regular guys, because these well-known guys are giving everybody a testimonial. I want the regular Joes giving testimonials on my product. And then I put, the person's first and last name, where they live, if I could show them a picture, and I even show pictures why do I show a picture of myself on the cover of my book, Why? Because I'm, if you look at me and you say, oh, wow, this guy clearly is no gift. He's just an average Joe if he was able to do these things. And that's why I told my story in the book. If I was able to do these things with all the hardships and setbacks I have, then anybody could do them, okay? So case studies, testimonials, pictures are very important. Social proof is what we're talking about here. And remember, social proof is important because what other people have to say about you is far more important than what you have to say about yourself. Guarantees also give people a lot of optimism. Very strong guarantees give people more optimism. Multiple guarantees. On almost all my products, I have lengthy guarantees. My book has a lifetime guarantee if you buy it from our website. Multiple guarantees on almost everything I have, all unconditional, and then I amplify those guarantees by offering conditional guarantees. Why? Because I believe in my products and I know what they are, and that gives people optimism. It removes risk and it makes people feel confident about doing business with you. Educate your buyers. Why is that important? How do we do that? Well, when people are open to learning in general, they're also open to any kind of suggestions from you. So if you get somebody open to hearing from you and to listening to you. See, most people go into a selling situation and all you're offering is your product or service. And so people know, hey, I have to, I'm being forced to buy something, or this guy wants me open to buy something. And who the hell wants to be open to that? Immediately, you put up a defense mechanism. I don't care who you're dealing with, okay? However, when people approach you and they say, hey, listen, let's talk about this. I would like to educate you on some things. Totally different dynamic. You're much more open, and you're open to learning, and you're open to suggestions, okay? So you should never, again, it goes back to forcing a sale and making a sale, which is impossible, or getting people thirsty, okay? It also positions you, when you educate your buyers, it positions you as a respected authority. And guess what? People look up to and want more information from people they respect. Okay? It makes, what you want to do is make your buyer a better consumer, a better educated consumer as it relates to the goods and services you're selling them. Okay? And you have to actually teach them new stuff. Why? If you're teaching them new stuff in your sales material, they're going to believe with 100% certainty that you have something to offer. And if your sales material is this good, gosh, your product's probably going to be amazing. And 99.9% of the time, that's how it works. The other reason is real simple. Your competition is not doing this stuff at all, okay? Your competition is just doing the old-fashioned method. They're trying to shove something down someone's throat and do a quick hit and run, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. That is not how you do business, and it's not how you become successful. Again, think about what you want to bring into this world before you think about what you want to get out of it. If you have that philosophy, and that goes towards all 9 of these things we discussed today, it serves you very well and takes you a long way. And it's also, when you're educating people, it's almost an inherent USP, which is a unique selling proposition. You're giving people a reason to buy based on your sales material alone. Simply because your sales material is so powerful and educational, that alone is in and of itself an inherent USP. Okay, so let's summarize. Got to get people interested. Got to get them involved. Get them motivated. Got to say compelling copy. Use compelling copy. Get people excited and curious. Make them thirsty. Remember, don't make them buy, make them thirsty. Radiate optimism and educate your buyers. When you could do all these 9 things, you have the components laid out. These are emotional triggers that people use and that people are attracted to, and you're pushing their buy buttons. Some resources that can help you with all this material is, if you're interested in learning how to push emotional buy buttons and how to write emotional copy, check out my seductive selling system, and you can find that at kingofcopy.com/seductive. If you're interested in overall marketing strategies and positioning, check out my book, How to Make Maximum Money with Minimum Customers. And you can buy that on our website. That comes with a lifetime guarantee and videos, CDs, DVDs, newsletters. And you can get that at kingofcopy.com/max. Or you can buy it on Amazon, kingofcopy.com/Amazon. And I believe there's something like 40 5-star reviews on there at this point in time. If you want ongoing sales and marketing information with cutting-edge techniques in sales copy review, we've been publishing Seductive Selling Newsletter going on 7 years, and you can get a free trial of that at kingofcopy.com/SSNL. And here's a little secret. If you order my book or the Seductive Selling Newsletter, you will automatically get a one-time only $200 discount off the Seductive Selling System. So either order the book at kingofcopy.com/max or take a free trial of my newsletter at kingofcopy.com/SSNL, and you'll automatically be directed to this special $200 discount off Seductive Selling System. And thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this. Got a lot out of this video recording.